In general, pastors and theologians are not being trained in this area, at least not very deeply, to think about worship and about art and about music. So what happens in that void is that you have commercialized music and books and paintings and that sort of things that you pick up at your Christian bookstore, you hear on your Christian radio, and that people become acclimated to that, which is generally of not particularly high quality, not just the music itself, but also the theological content of the music tends to be rather sentimentalized. There are exceptions, of course. You can think of Keith Getty and people like this who are going a little deeper, but we have been on this ever since the seeker-friendly movement back in the late 80s and 90s. We've been on this course of trying to make our worship and our settings more palatable to people. And as a result, you could say it's been rather dumbed down. Not to say that the forms didn't need to change. They did, because we can't be just doing the same old and expect the next generation. But the question that comes up then is, if we were to be more intentional about it, what would that sound like? What would that look like? And until we get better conversations going between the theologians and the pastors and the artists, we're kind of stuck in this commodified culture of the Gospel Music Association and so on, and worship leaders that are trained to do that kind of thing rather than actually being intentional about the music, about the art, about the architecture. All of these things could be, the quality could be raised, and you can actually train people to learn to love other things and higher things and better things by their usage in the church. There used to be a differentiation of church music, and that people learned to love as church music. But we don't have that now because we've been working so hard on trying to appeal to people in the good sense of trying to break down barriers, trying to make church approachable, but again, it wasn't done very intentionally, and it certainly wasn't done in conversation with professional artists that could have been of great help. So the question that I run through my mind is, what is the music that was never composed? What are the buildings that were never built? What is the poetry that was never written because the church abandoned basically this part of their mission?